It is 14 degrees here in Atlanta today, so don't really want to do anything. But, you know, we still got to be at least kind of productive. So I think I'm going to set my van on fire. So, you know, we got this beautiful mint green, silverish egg. This gray plastic cladding goes all the way around. It's from 94. It's fairly old these days. Ha, that's right, 90s kids, you're 30. Anywho, so you can see the front bumper here. It's a nice darker color and a little bit more sheen to it than most of this other plastic around the van, especially this rear bumper. It looks terrible, terrible. So, you know, great little project for a freezing cold day here is always set stuff on fire. A few days ago, I went through and just kind of ran the torch on the front bumper. Brought some of the oils back to the surface, and it looks notably better than the rest of the cladding on the van. So I wanted to let it sit for a few days and see what happened. See if it immediately flashed back or it did something worse. And it's been probably 4 days, 5 days, and still looks good. So today, I hate the cold. Also, I have a flat. That tire's flat. I'm gonna blame that on the cold too. So today, I guess we're gonna go around and I'm gonna definitely wipe the plastic. Don't want to like bake any contaminants into it. I don't know if that's a thing. But we'll wipe it down and hit the rest of it and see if we can't, you know, get rid of some of this white, chalky, swirly. Look, plan, let's go. I've been setting the van on fire for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, I don't know. And it's amazing just how not warmer it's making me. I hate the cold. Anywho, so it's a pretty immediate improvement. Now, that being said, with the extreme cold overnight temperatures we had, I'm not 100% positive that this isn't a little bit skewed by how cold the plastic is, because the side cladding definitely seems a little more splotchy than the front bumper did when I did it the other day. However, the front bumper I took a little bit more time on, but it was also like probably low 60s, high 50s that day when I was messing with it. So definitely better, and I still might address some of the more colorful areas. However, it's definitely brought darkness back to it. The rear, it's really, really bad here. I don't know if Just Heat is going to stand a chance against that. And we've got this vintage AAA probably sticker on here that I kind of want to try to remove before just burning it into the bumper. So rear bumper is going to be the last one we look at, and we'll see just how much change we can make. I mean, this is pretty chalky and bad. So we'll see. Yeah. Golly, I hate the cold. But as you can see, moves along pretty quick. It's a quick project. Should work on pretty much any plastic trim. Definitely not this old 80s stuff. Don't do it on that. It's just gonna smell bad and not make anything look different. But on this 90s and 2000s plastic, it should pretty much work on most of them. I would definitely be careful, you know, maybe test in a smaller out of sight area, and just stay moving. You don't want to stay in one place too long, because you will quickly deform or melt or ruin that trim. So I guess let me wipe down the rear, maybe see if scraping on that sticker makes a difference, and then we'll just bake it. Deal. Pretty quick process. One thing I did find back here though is this rubber seal definitely has a pretty low flash point, and it'll keep burning, so be careful with that. That dent kills me. So we played with it for about 40 minutes here. Anyway, we played with it for about 40 minutes here, and it's substantially more better, but it's not the goodest. We might address a few spots again later on a warmer day and see if it changes. But to be fair, this is 30-year-old plastic trying to set it on fire to make it better. So, it's not a exact science. But the rear, I mean, it's a lot more better. The AAA sticker really fought me, but it's gone. So there. Yeah, so a heat gun and or a hair dryer even would be able to do this. It'll be a lot slower and harder to spread the heat over a large surface, but it could be done. So for $0 and maybe an hour of work in the cold, we really made a difference, and I think it really does help. The overall look of the van really breaks up the colors, and whatever. So maybe with some of the sunshine we have today, even though it's cold, we'll get down under here and try to make a skid plate for this old girl. If not today, definitely sometime this week. But for now, we accomplished something, so we can go sit back and relax about it, So you've gone against nature, and you've lowered your van way too much. How do you protect all them soft little underbellies? Well, you ask the obstacles nicely. Hey, don't go in there. So I got this sign, naturally and responsibly grown right here in my own backyard. So I think we're going to utilize this fella as a skid plate for the Previa, because the oil pan is really close to the ground, and I don't really want to replace that motor. So hit some quick measurements on there, see what we got, and I don't know if it'll be today, but try to get this thing hung up underneath there in a very sturdy manner, because it's definitely going to make contact with the ground and every single speed bump. So we wanted to actually be on there good, not just, oh, it's on there. Oh God, it did more damage than good. So yeah, got the tape measure. We'll see. Well, our street sign, backyard sign, ended up being a 48 by 48 square. Get some crazy hair going on under here. And I didn't bring the tape measure with me, so your guess is as good as mine. But whoa, as you can see, our oil pan, she's already made some contact with the ground. That being said, the van's a little higher than I had it originally when we finished the coilovers. In the front, it's higher, and it looks lame, but I don't seem to scrape nearly as much, so we can go back down once we do the skiddy plate. It looks like there's some factory tabs up in here you can't see. Yeah, like that, for these flimsy skid plates that came on here, and definitely this huge motor mount cross member should be good for securing to. The rear, however, is definitely going to be where we struggle with finding a mount. Up here seems to be a lot of good places to mount to. In the rear, oh golly goodness. Also, gas tank's pretty low, but I don't think we're worried about that. Trans pan is kind of low. I think this thing could use some mounts. They seem kind of toe up, and you know, between the trans bell housing bolts, this exhaust bracket, and the frame rail up here, I'm hoping we can find something to secure the rear of our skid plate to. So let's go get a haircut. So here's what I've come up with so far. This cross member here, it's tubular, and I have these U-bolts that came with a exhaust kit I bought at Summit Racing a long time ago. So conveniently, I don't really like how low they hang. However, this is a very sturdy, easy place to mount. I think I might even trim here, because this is actually the best place to jack the car up from, and I don't want to be on it. So I might trim this along here, and even bend it up, you know, kind of like what do the off-road guys call that? Like boat side? I don't think that's the word, but you know, give it a little bit of a roundy round shape on the side, since it'll be clamped up here, hopefully. And that'll give us a little more side clearance and whatnot. Basically, this thing's gonna be a race car though, super aerodynamic flat bottom or something. So far the front, obviously it still needs a little bit more, but it is very solidly secured to the vehicle. The rear is definitely going to take some bracketry, so we'll see what we can come up with back there. So what we've come up with in the rear is this quick little bracket here. All right, notched for the trans pan, notched for the tail shaft housing, and it can just fit all the way up, but we're not going to be able to go that far. It looks like I've been banking a lot on these mud dauber filled holes being threaded. Spent that whole time making that bracket. So if those don't clean up to be threaded, we're going to be in trouble. Being that this is aluminum, it may or may not be the strongest for this, but it is L. I had it laying around. I also have probably the same size and angle iron. If need be, I can switch out to that size. So that should hopefully secure really good in the middle here. And then we'll have to, once again, worry about the sides. Moving right along, just splurged $2.30 on these snazzy new I can see when I'm cutting stuff glasses. Whew. So, here's what we came up with. Okay. It doesn't quite say do not enter anymore. It says, oh no, enter. Anywho, so we kind of lobbed her off in a shape where it's still going to make a mess, but we'll be able to access the oil drain pan. Well, plug, you know, whatever. Got a bracket back here secured to the trans. Very rigid. It does overlap over the gas tank all the way. So back here we can still tear it up, but the front edge is protected. All right. And over which yonder, the front, it's just too simple not to. So we just went ahead and U-bolt, 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 U-bolt. These are a little long. Anywho, so still get the oil filter off. Definitely gonna make a mess. Probably do a drain relief there, and it wouldn't put anything in harm's way. But very rigid here because we're up against this cross member. A little bit of the boat side going on, so should have a little extra ground clearance where this part doesn't snag. So overall, I think we're fairly well secured on there. No shock protection for the oil pan. You know, if you hit something really hard fast, it's definitely going to smash up into the pan, still bend the pan and potentially cause pickup issues. But we shouldn't abrasion through the pan, or something that happens sometimes is just by scraping, sometimes you unscrew the drain plug. So that shouldn't be able to happen either. Not the perfect solution, but definitely a solution. So we should be able to wind these front coilovers back down a touch and be back where we were ride height wise, and just listen to that thing beautifully scrape across the ground.